right now, CVS, Walgreens, pretty much every pharmacy out there has a ad campaign going. It's been going since October. Hashtag flu fighter on Twitter and Instagram. And they're actually paying influencers to post about getting their flu shot, which is crazy to me. But and then to use the hashtag flu fighter. So I wanted to talk about who the real flu fighters are with you guys. There's also a lot of headlines going around discussing how this is going to be a really bad year for the flu. And in most of those articles, they try and blame, how's it going, Amina? They try and blame the anti-vaxxers, saying, you know, not enough people are getting vaccinated because of this this campaign, this anti-vax propagandist campaign is what they say. So they're trying to blame those who don't get the flu shot with why the flu is going to be so bad this season. I have a couple things to say about that. There's an article that was put out by CTV, I think. I'm just going to pull that up so I can read a couple of spots off of this. How's it going, Gloria? And we already know that with the flu shot, it's really hard for them to pinpoint what strains are going to be going around this year. And that makes it very hard for them to make an effective product. And this year, they're estimating it's only 41% effective. And that's only if it's your first time receiving the shot. I'm going to explain why. The answer is in this article. I'm going to read a piece of that. All right. I'm going to start on the second paragraph of this. Although doctors maintain that flu shots are lifesavers that everyone should receive, some researchers are uncovering hints that serial vaccination, that is, consistently receiving annual flu shots, may in fact limit one's ability to fight the virus in the future. Nothing surprises me anymore with influenza. Dr. Danuta Soronsky, an epidemiologist at the British Columbia Center for Disease Control, told CTV News. It's such a changeable virus. So they cite his study in here, which we're going to go read in a minute. They cite his study in here. So this is a scientist, an epidemiologist from the British Columbia CDC who wrote this study. All right, so this isn't some discredited doctor. This isn't some, wackadoodle Google degree mom saying this. This is an actual CDC. That's okay, Gloria, you don't have to agree. But this study is very interesting. So he's an actual CDC scientist. And it says, although flu season typically starts in late November and peaks towards the end of December, influenza cases have already been reported across blah, 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 blah. Here we go. New evidence, however, is raising the specter that more influenza vaccinations you receive in your lifetime, the less protection you have from the virus in subsequent seasons. So I'm going to click on this study here because they cited his study. Oops. There we go. That's the right link. And there's a specific portion, it just disappeared, sorry, that I wanted to go over, and that's talking about the vaccine effectiveness. So VE stands for vaccine effectiveness. I'm going to go down to, okay. In looking for prior vaccination effects, the team found that vaccine effectiveness against H3N2 for those vaccinated in 2014 and 15, but not the year before. So this is someone who, this is the first vaccination they received, the effectiveness was 53%. Okay, so it was 53% effective, which is, it's decently effective in someone who's received it one time. All right. This was much better than those vaccinated in both seasons. For those vaccinated in all 3 seasons, so for those vaccinated in both seasons, it was negative 32%. So I don't know if you heard that correctly, but it's negative 32%, which means they actually had an increased risk of developing influenza if it was their second year in a row receiving the flu shot. So then they go on to say, for those vaccinated in all 3 seasons, ending in 2014 and 15, vaccine effectiveness against H3N2 was estimated at negative 54%. So it seems the more that they're getting, the more chance they have. 3 in a row doubles your chance of of developing or catching influenza. They didn't do any further studies to see if it continues to increase. It was just the 3 shots, so who knows? But then it says the overall vaccine effectiveness of less than 10% in 2014 and 15 is the lowest in more than a decade. Yeah. I'm going to post this link so you guys can read the whole study. But there were about 1,939 patients in this study that they did this study on. So my point is, not only do you have a vaccine that they can't prove its effectiveness, they don't know. They come out in the year after with how effective the vaccine from last year was. But they have no idea how effective the one this year is going to be. They're only guessing. So you have these shots in the dark with effectiveness on the vaccine for flu. And then on top of that, you have, if you are receiving the flu shot multiple times annually, you keep receiving your flu shot, the effectiveness of it doesn't only decrease, but your risk of flu increases with each subsequent shot. So my question to you is, how does that help herd immunity? If you are more likely to catch and spread flu because you are getting a vaccine, are you really a flu fighter? That's my question. I have lots of questions. Hashtag just asking. This is actual scientific information, Gloria. This is from the CDC, from the British Columbia CDC, and this study was done in 2015, 2014, they did it in 2012 and 13, all the way up into 2016. And it's funny, not like haha funny, but it's ironic to me, crazy to me, that they knew that the more you get the flu shot, the more it increases your risk of developing the flu. They knew. They've known for at least 5 years. And yet, here we have people really pressuring via peer pressure by paying influencers on social media to say, I got my flu shot, you should go get your flu shot. That's peer pressure. It's peer pressure for a product that is not even effective, for a product that actually does the opposite of what they say it's going to do. And to me, that's disgusting. And they have also added it to the mandated schedules for children. So now children, in order to go to school, have to have flu shot in order to go to school. So you have a defective product. It's liability free. They don't, you can't sue manufacturers if you're injured by it. It does come with risks. Guillain-Barré syndrome is one of those risks. It's the modern day polio, you guys. A lot of people theorize that polio never went away. We just renamed it, and Guillain-Barré syndrome is one of the names. That is theory. I don't have any scientific evidence for that but it does have symptoms that are very much like polio. It's temporary, sometimes permanent paralysis. People die from it quite often because they can no longer breathe. Their heart stops working, their lungs stop working because of the paralysis. So it can very much be likened to polio. So you have no liability for manufacturers. You have risks that come with getting the vaccine, and then they have no idea how effective it's going to be. On top of the more you get it, the more chance you have of it doing the opposite of what it's supposed to do. So if you're going to be a flu fighter, I would recommend taking vitamin D and just staying home if you're sick. If you're sick, just stay home. That's my public service announcement for the day. So have a good one.